The International Christian Embassy Jerusalem is your embassy in the heart of Israel, founded in 1980. From our headquarters in Jerusalem through our branches in over 80 nations and yours in Canada, we seek to challenge the Church to take up its scriptural responsibilities, to remind Israel of the promises made to her in the Bible, and to be a source of practical assistance to all the people in the land of Israel. On today's program, we visit the Haifa Home for Holocaust Survivors and speak with the survivor, and the Neve Yosef Community Center, and talk with Nicole Yoder.
What is the purpose of the ICEJ? We comfort the Jewish people in the reborn state of Israel. Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. We are a part of God's great purpose in bringing the Jews back to Israel. We provide aid and assistance to people living in Israel. We build bridges of reconciliation between Jews and Arabs. The ICEJ presents to the world a balanced view of what takes place in the land of Israel. ICEJ gives Christians a right biblical understanding of the modern state of Israel. Our international branches encourage Christian leaders, churches, and organizations to become effective influences in their countries on behalf of Israel and the Jewish people. We remind and encourage Christians worldwide to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and the land of Israel.
I had a mother and a father. It's hard to talk about it because my mother was shot and died at my feet. I was 6 years old. It was a foggy day when the German army trucks appeared. My dad grabbed us out of bed and took us out. We were 5 sisters. I was number 4. We all scattered. One of my older sisters and I ran together. We heard lots of shooting and I cried. My dad and 3 sisters were killed. My sister covered my mouth like this so I wouldn't make any sound. We managed to hide and later got away. We saw our home going up in flames. Much later, a Polish Christian woman took us in, fed us, and treated us like her own. After the war, an uncle found us and placed us in an orphanage with other Jewish children who'd been saved by Christian families. We sailed to Haifa in November 1948.
Death and suffering are engraved in the memories of Holocaust survivors like Esti, even 7 decades after the Nazis murdered her family. Today, 1/3 of Israel's 200,000 Holocaust survivors face severe poverty, illness, and live alone. They need help. In late 2009, Shimon Shabbat, the director of an Israeli social organization, approached the aid department of the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem for support in a special housing project for needy Holocaust survivors. A week later, ICEJ Aid presented Shimon with a gift for the purchase of the ground floor of a 4-story building.
I moved here into the Haifa House for Holocaust Survivors in October 2010. It's so wonderful that the Christian Embassy prepared this place, and it's such a blessing. It's affordable for me, as I have limited means. You helped us, and so I want to thank those who thought about us, the Holocaust survivors.
The doors to the Haifa House for Holocaust Survivors opened in an amazing way. Within 8 days of the opening of the ground floor, a campaign by the German branch of the ICEJ raised the funds to purchase the entire building. The dilapidated structure was quickly restored and made livable by Israeli builders and, among others, by volunteer teams sent by the German Saxonian Friends of Israel.
באתי לגור מ-1 בדצמבר
I came to live here in December. I love this place and feel great here. The manager is wonderful. I'm 92 years old. I suffered a stroke a few months ago and was hospitalized for a week. After I got back here, they cared for me very well. The food is good. The care is good. For me, this is like paradise. Binyamin lost his family in the Holocaust. This home is an expression of Christian love in healing the scars of the past. The House for Holocaust Survivors is the first of its kind in Israel, attracting the attention of top Israeli leaders and the mass media.
החבירה עם השגרירות הנוצרית ובעיקר עם השלוחה הגרמנית היא גם כן דבר יוצא דופן ואני מברך על כך. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's so important, not just the money and the support, but the intention and the idea that you are here and you are doing so good and necessary job. So thank you very, very much for what you are doing.
In April 2010, the ground floor with an attractive dining and recreational area was officially opened. 5 months later, the entire home was dedicated in a huge ceremony with dignitaries and 2,000 survivors invited to the Haifa Convention Center. At the ceremony, the ICEJ presented an additional check for the purchase of another building on the same street. Now the full length of Haifa's Kassel Street is taken up by the Homes for Holocaust Survivors. In April 2011, the second home was opened by the ICEJ directors, government officials, and the chief rabbi of Haifa.
And those people which you see here, it's the first time in their life they are celebrating their own bar mitzvah. The chief rabbi of the city of Haifa came to give them their blessing, and it's a very emotional procedure here today for those gentlemen.
These men waited 70 years to celebrate their bar mitzvahs. The coming-of-age Torah reading ceremony is usually marked by boys at age 13. However, 70 years ago, in their youth, they were inmates of concentration camps and therefore unable to joyously celebrate with family and friends. Today, that opportunity has finally arrived. Time is running out for the Holocaust survivors. ICEJ Aid is committed to maintaining a high level of care for these aging residents in their waning years. So adopt a Holocaust survivor.
Recently, Donna Holbrook, National Director of ICEJ Canada, visited the Holocaust Haifa home to present a donation in loving memory of Audrey Ruth Peer towards the further needed expansion of the home.
When this building was purchased, it looked like a complete wreck. It's amazing the transformation that has happened. The entire outside of the building was covered with Jerusalem stone and painted. Everything inside was refurbished from top to bottom. The top floor has a number of Holocaust survivors that are needing intensive care all the time. The bottom level has the offices. It has a computer room and sitting room, which was dedicated to Ruth McDowell. And underneath the street is a storage area. But also it's a bomb shelter in case there's ever a crisis in the north. And so there's an entrance below the street.
We're delighted to be here with you today.
אנחנו מאוד מאוד שמחים להיות כאן איתכם היום.
In order to remember in beloved memory
כדי לזכור
one of our Canadian members, a gift that she left to International Christian Embassy Jerusalem. In order to give this gift today to Shimon
כדי לתת לכם את המתנה הזאת
and the Haifa home and to all of you,
ולבית פה ולכולכם,
a gift that will help you in the advancement or the growth of the Haifa home.
אני גרה פה 3 שנים.
I'm living here for 3 years.
אני הכי ותיקה פה.
I'm one of the oldest ones who's lived here the longest.
הבית הזה נותן לי הרבה איכות חיים.
This home gives a wonderful quality of life.
אנשים ניצולי שואה לא יכולים להיות לבד בבית.
Nitzolei Shoah, or Holocaust survivors, can't be at home alone.
וכל הזמן נמצאים שם, אי אפשר להשתחרר מזה.
It's because our mind just keeps going back to the things that happened in the past, and you can't get free of it. And so when you're alone, you think too much.
ופה אנחנו נמצאים במסגרת נהדרת.
And here we're in a wonderful framework.
3 פעמים ביום אנחנו נפגשים בחדר האוכל.
3 times a day we meet in the cafeteria, in the dining room.
ואנחנו יושבים שם הרבה זמן מעבר, הרבה פעמים שעתיים, 2.5, ומדברים בינינו ומבלים ביחד.
And many times we sit there for a few hours and we talk together and we play cards and we just enjoy each other.
טובים.
Shimon and also with the help of the Christian Embassy do very many good things for us.
אנחנו הולכים לתיאטרון.
We go to the theater.
אנחנו חוגגים ימי הולדת.
We celebrate birthday parties.
הוא לוקח אותנו לקפה, ופעם הוא לוקח אותנו למסעדה.
Sometimes we go out to a restaurant or a coffee shop. Sometimes to the sea.
וזה עושה לנו מאוד מאוד טוב פה.
It just does good for us.
אם אני בבית לבד, אני מהבוקר יכולה להישאר עם הפיג'מה עד הערב.
If I'm at home, I can stay in my pajamas until the evening.
אבל פה אני חייבת להתלבש 3 פעמים ביום, אני הולכת לאכול.
And here, 3 times a day, I go out to the cafeteria to eat and meet people, so I need to get dressed up.
וכולם משגיחים להופיע כמו שצריך.
And everyone pays attention to show up dressed like they should.
ויש לנו, באמת טוב לנו פה, מאוד מאוד טוב לנו.
And it's very good for us here, very, very good for us.
And about the beauty pageant?
It was a wonderful, big, special event. There were 52 different radio and television stations that recorded the event of the beauty contest. The most important thing about the beauty contest for Holocaust survivors wasn't the beauty contest, but for me, it was to be able to tell people about the Holocaust and to raise awareness of the situation of Holocaust survivors today. And it really did do that. It's important to talk about it, but for many, many years, I refused to talk about it.
אבל אחר כך ראיתי שמוכרחים להנציח את זה, לא לשכוח, לפחות כמה שאנחנו חיים.
And then I afterwards saw that it was really important to speak about it, to remember, to make it possible for others to understand what had happened and for them to remember. And therefore I speak. And therefore I also went to the beauty contest.
Marina, 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 ti voglio preso oh mio bel amore, non lasciare, non vedi rovinare, oh no, 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 oh no, 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 Marina. הרבה אושר שלהם, תגידת, הרבה אושר.
I wish you lots of
מה שהם רוצים בחיים
everything
שלהם.
that you want in your life, may it come to pass.
תודה רבה.
Thank you. We are at the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem headquarters in beautiful Jerusalem, and with me I have Nicole Yoder, who is our ICEJ Aid Director. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you, Donna.
We've spent some time together here in the land doing projects, but first of all, I think our audience might like to know a little bit about you. Where are you from? What made you come to Israel to the position that you're in today?
I came to Israel in 1992, right after I finished my college education. And initially I thought I was coming to Israel just for a year to volunteer overseas. And I didn't come to the Christian Embassy. I worked in some other volunteer social projects. And I only came to the embassy in 1999. And but originally I came because I had begun to learn about the very difficult history between Jewish and Christian peoples throughout the centuries, and I wanted to do something to bless the people of Israel in a very practical way. The aid department handles all the different social projects that the embassy is involved with. And so we're working with all different people groups across the nation, whether it's Jewish, Arab, Christian, Muslim, secular, Orthodox. And so you're dealing with many different people from all over the country and trying to meet social needs in just a variety of ways. And how is it for me? We love it. Together working with me on the team, we think we just have the best job in the embassy.
Well, you and Yoder worked together so beautifully, and we had a day out in Haifa where we presented a few projects, and this particular funding came out of Canada, and it was rather unique because it came from a state giving, which we call the Shomer Fund, Keeper of Israel. So people, even when they are no longer able to give on a monthly basis, they can actually begin and complete projects under their name, if they so wish to have their name, and some want to remain anonymous. But one of our members passed away, and we were able to fulfill several projects.
One was the Haifa Home for Holocaust Survivors.
Right.
And this is a tremendously special project. It's become a very big project that the embassy has been involved with over the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. And so part of this estate went to help purchase an additional apartment that would expand the Home for Holocaust Survivors, because there's just hundreds of Holocaust survivors who still need a place to spend their final years in dignity and having care and being helped. Just provide for their needs.
Now, Nicole, as I understand it, there's 200,000 Holocaust survivors living in Israel. About a third of those would be under the poverty line, no family, no funds. And not only are they Holocaust survivors, but they're elderly, they're seniors with special needs. This project in Haifa it can provide care for about 100 residents currently.
We're not yet quite at 100.
Right.
There's around 70 survivors that live in this facility. It's a series of buildings actually. It's
right.
not just one. But the waiting list is much longer. And that's correct. There's maybe a little bit less than 200,000 because they're passing away, unfortunately, every day. But about a third do live below the poverty line, unfortunately.
There was another project we did at Neve Yosef Community Center.
Mm-hmm. This is also a very special project. This community center is really vital in the neighborhood where it's located. Some 5,000 people benefit daily from the activities and programs that they're running. But what's special about this community center is it's really serving people from all different backgrounds. Immigrant communities, Ethiopians, Russians, the close by Arab communities, the youth from that community. So there's just all different ages, different backgrounds, different cultural experiences from the different groups as they've come from around the world here. And there was a desire to build some music rooms that would allow a music program to take place for Jewish and Arab youth. And so when we saw this, we thought, wow, this is really something that is part of our value system, to bring people together from all different backgrounds, especially here, where there are different tensions between the different groups, and to build something positive. And so this donation from Canada will go to build the music rooms.
So this is the official launching of the music rooms at Neve Yosef Community Center in Haifa, Israel, dedicated in the memory of Audrey Ruth Peer, an ICEJ International Christian Embassy Jerusalem member who passed away and left her estate. She had a deep heart for music, she had a deep heart for children, and she had a deep heart for Israel, for whom she prayed for daily. So it was with great pleasure that ICEJ Canada, along with Nicole and Yoder, representing our ICEJ Aid Department, who helped identify this program with Shimon and Yacobi Brosh, that we can give this today, and you're seeing the beginning of something that will be a dream fulfilled this year. And we're excited to do this from Canada.
Thank you very much.
Thank
it's
you.
really honor to get it.
Mwah. Mwah. But the nice thing about it is the running of the project and the donation of the instruments come from some other sources, and so it's a partnership.
Yeah.
Where on different levels you see a partnership happening, and it's
we can do so much more if we do it together.
Absolutely,
correct?
absolutely.
And the connection with the music rooms, Nicole, you helped me greatly because we looked at what Audrey Peer, our donor of Beloved Memory, gave. She and her friend Pat Raymer, another member at ICEJ Canada, met like 65 years ago as music students at the University of Toronto Royal Conservatory. Mm. And so music was that was their link to their friendship for a lifetime. Mm. And so music and children, because she didn't have children, she wanted children to be affected. Yeah. And Holocaust survivors too. Mm-hmm. So even though her other regret was that she never could make it to Israel, never made it to the land, that her name is here inscribed on these projects that are helping the very people who were closest to her heart. So I've got to say that your work at the ICEJ is invaluable. When we come for Sukkot, for the Feast of Tabernacles, our pilgrims can go out and visit the communities and see the projects, see the people, meet the people that we have helped. That has such an impact upon anyone coming, and it's a real life-saving effort that you do on a day-to-day basis, and we're happy to be a branch that contributes to that, and we're just excited for the next projects that we can assist in. What is your greatest need right now, Nicole?
Wow, greatest need. There's so many different possibilities. Obviously right now with the Haifa home, we're looking to raise another $500,000 towards the expansion of the home, so that's a big need.
$500,000.
And we are also looking to help with immigrant absorption. We have mentoring projects for immigrants who have come here and just really found it so difficult. You can imagine coming to a new country that you suddenly find yourself having to learn a new language. Maybe your job skills aren't adequate
from
for the new
Ethiopia,
place.
from India,
you need to upgrade
Russia.
your education. Your kids are struggling in school. You don't have the support network that you've had in the past. There's so many challenges to face, and so we're trying to help immigrants with a mentoring program to kind of navigate those obstacles. So that's a project that we could really use support for. We're also looking for educational, ways to help with educational projects. And we have some really unique opportunities right now to help with youth at risk, and also Ethiopian immigrants, and just in various ways to help people get on their own feet, actually. That's what we're looking to see, is how can we help people not need a constant support every month from outside, but where they can actually have the resources that they can use for themselves to provide for themselves.
That's very important. Education is very important. And what you shared with me earlier is that you can give food, and that can satisfy a daily need, but it's more important that they have the education, that they have the tools. That's the long-term goal of ICEJ. And one thing that I guess some donors become a little skeptical about what they give and how much of it actually goes to a project, how much actually gets there. And we pride ourselves at ICEJ Canada as being a branch that if you have a heart for a designation, a Holocaust survivor, adoption, expanding the home, doing these children's program, doing the educational programs, which is now recognized by the Ministry of Education in the Knesset, that 100% of what we receive goes to that program, and we send that to you monthly. And you do your due. We are such a transparent, and we try to be efficient with our donors' funds, that they go quickly to those who the donor wants it to go to. We can assure them that that does happen, and that makes me excited as a director for the work that we do, because the help is immediate.
Yeah, we definitely, we have many different requests coming to us. There's always more requests than we have budget for.
So we really appreciate your prayers always, because we really want to be giving where the needs are the greatest and as effectively and as efficiently as possible. And I think for me and my team, we're so honored to represent Christians from around the world who have such a heart to express their appreciation and love of this people. And so we feel really honored to be able to represent, to be the hands and feet of
You
those
really
who
are.
don't always get to be here, like Audrey, who wasn't able to
I
come
know.
and visit and really wanted to always. And so that's a real privilege for us.
This is in the relationship building, and this is key to ICEJ, is that we're building a bridge as Christians with the Jewish, Muslim, Arab. It just goes on in the land, because Israel is quite diverse in her ethnicity and in her faith groups. And it's the only place in the Middle East where they can exercise that faith and those beliefs. So we're thankful for what we can do here in Israel freely as Christians. So thank you, Nicole. We'll pray for you, and we will try to undergird more projects that you're undertaking.
Thank you. We need all of it. Blessings on you.
Thank
and the
you.
work you do in Canada as well.
Okay.
We conclude our program today with some sights and sounds within Israel. A bar mitzvah celebration in the streets of the Old City. % of what we receive from you toward a project goes to that designation. Through your contribution to ICEJ Canada, you can participate in our Israel outreach by caring for Holocaust survivors, food for needy families, orphans, children, and youth at risk, new immigrant assistance, bomb-proof shelters, Israel in crisis, minorities in Israel, and our Canadian outreach through educational teachings. Sponsor a young Canadian to Israel. Sponsor Israeli teens to Canada Camp. Television programming.